through me. Good afternoon. It is a pleasure to breathe oxygen through physical lungs again. I thank all who are here today as your purity and your goodness of heart has created sacred space that allows me to come through with such comfort and grace. You know me best as the Father of Yeshua, Jesus, whom many of you have strong feelings for: love, hate, belief, disbelief, profound questions of all the harm done in His name, profound goodness that flows through His healing. Many of you know my wife, the Blessed Mary, who has many churches in her name, and many who wear her image in necklaces about their neck and have altars to her. I infrequently return to this realm. My work is more suited to other places where I can infuse light-filled grids to send power down to your planet, to aid with the work that my family does here in this heavy, dense, desolate place that you call home. I'm grateful to be here now. I wish to share a story with you of how I raised my son to be the man I hoped he would be when he was a child. He was a peculiar child, you understand. He was small for his age, but he had so much power in his being that he could walk into a room and others would step back from the intensity of his presence. And they would respond to this intensity as though he were a grown man, not a 4-year-old, 6-year-old, a slip of a boy who did not know any better because, of course, he was not born with understanding of who he was or his previous lives or his purpose for being. He was a child who wanted to play with a stick and a ball. He was a child who wanted to learn the craft that his father did. He was a child who wanted to play with other children, children who often were intimidated by his energy, children who often would choose to beat him and spit upon him instead of getting to know him as the human boy. It was a terrible reckoning for him to learn to merge his tiny being with his huge essence. And it was my responsibility as his father, who even at that time I did not fully know the purpose for our being. We all learned all of this later, of course, but at that time, we were on our blind path, just as each of you are on yours. And I would have to teach my son skills to hone his frequency and direct it so that the rest of him could be relaxed and childish. He would often, as a child, do this. He would hit himself on his head and face. Sometimes he'd even try to punch himself in the eye or beat himself on his arms, or he would grab himself so hard he would leave finger-shaped bruises on his arms. And I said to him, "Child, why do you hurt yourself?" And he said, "This is to prevent others from doing this to me." And I said, all you do is invite this energy to your being. When you self-abuse, you give all permission to abuse you. He thought if he was humble, if he dejected himself, then others would say, "Oh, he's not so bad." And they would accept him at a low, insignificant level and overlook him. And I tell you, I look in this room and I see many who would rather abuse yourself than step into the glory of your nature. And I tell you, false modesty is even worse than arrogance. Because at least those who are arrogant are going forward with a vision. With false modesty, with, "Oh, shucks, I'm not so good," or, "Oh, I received a message, but I don't wish to share this." Accept yourself. I tell you, accept yourself, claim yourself, be yourself, be true to yourself, and go forward with love. It took me 10 years to teach my child that lesson. I ask you to learn this in 1 minute. Learn this now. Who you are in your internal being is who you are meant to be. And when goodness rises up, when blessings spill from you, do not turn your back upon yourself. And now, I am wearing this body. I send you love and blessings from myself, from my family, from my friends, and from the stars and the grids that we create to shine loving light down upon your planet, that each of you is invited to grab onto and let that energy flow through you for healing and divine mercy and fullness of blessings. Amen. Aho. May goodness be within you. My conduit says, take this moment and connect with those who are here for you. Open your mind and receive a message. I know at this moment each of you has a loving God who is sharing a message, whispering in your ear, downloading into your brain, filling your heart. Accept this and let it go within you. Embrace. Embrace the message. Embrace yourself. Farewell. For now.